Good morning and welcome to our Getting Ready for FS1 webinar. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces, and we are going to discuss today what that transition will look like from our current nursery into our FS1. So we are going to I know you've seen our faces probably around the Early Years Centre, but we have Rebecca Howes, who is our Director of Early Years, and you will see Rebecca most mornings and at pickup times, so we'll always be around to help if you ever need have any questions. My name is Holly Harron, and I'm the Head of Phase Foundation Stage, and you'll also see me at drop-offs and pickups as well, and always around to help and support your child with their transition into FS1. We have the lovely Miss Ferdis Hussain, who is our head of FS1. So you'll also, let's have a few more joining in the call. And Miss Hussain has been head of FS1 this year and will be going into the same role next year. So your familiar face in case you ever need any help or support with as well. So today we're just going to look about what we are going to cover in today's webinar. Just a few important things, which lots of information that are probably quite similar in terms of kind of how we do things here at WEC. But we are going to look at the timings, which are slightly different from nursery, and just thinking about that kind of transition period from the nursery into FS1. We'll look at attendance and punctuality and our uniform expectations. I know currently in nursery, not all children wear their uniform, which is absolutely fine, but just thinking about what that would look like moving into FS1. Our snack and lunch, the process around that, school bus, if you are wishing to use that service, parent communication, and who is around to help you. So lots of emails that we'll share with you towards the end that you may need throughout the year.
Okay, hello everyone, good morning. I will share with you the first 2 weeks of school, which is a staggered start for our FS1 children. The children will all FS1 children will be all in on the 25th of August, that's the Monday, first Monday of that week. They'll be coming to school for 2 hours, depending on when you have selected the staggered start. So we have two timings, 7:30 till 9:30 for the first group and first session, or 11:30 till 1:30 for the second group. There will be no specialists during these 2 weeks. And on a Friday, it's a different timing as well. As you can see there, on a Friday, we finish school at 12 p.m. Okay, so we'll only have one group for those 2 hours. Okay.
We do open our early years doors at 11:30 on a Friday. And then the rest of Key Stage 1 and any siblings, the doors will be open at 12. So we always encourage parents, if you have got siblings, to come and collect the children in FS first from 11:30, and then you'll be able to pick up at 12 o'clock. Okay, so what will happen on the first day? So you have signed policies with the nursery, but we have a different policy in FS1 and FS2. So Miss Angela will be handing those out to you. I think she has already, but if she hasn't, she will. You will receive a new toileting and intimate care policy and an All About Me booklet. So we do ask that all children do start with us on day one that they are toilet trained. So please, if you're having any little hiccups, just welcome that over the summer with the children, getting them ready for that. And when you drop your child to their new classroom, we do welcome that you can stay and settle them if they need. Some children, I'm sure, will be very excited to run through the door and be saying goodbye to you. But you are very welcome to stay and help settle them if they need it, and then leave at some point, so we can carry on with the session as well. We do ask that children wear their full uniform starting on their first day. So we'll speak a little bit about more uniform in a few slides, so don't worry too much about that right now. And then when the children come, even for their session, they will still need a small snack. So because the children will have a little snack time, so we ask for a small snack and a spare pair of clothes. And all children will have spare clothes in their cubbies throughout the year as well, because we have lots of messy play and FS, lots of water activities, so it's good to have a few spare sets throughout their time as well. And then we just really ask, and I know this sounds like a given, but I know sometimes parents are running late, but please, particularly on that first day, that you are here to collect on time, because children can get very distressed if they see other parents collecting children and they're there waiting. So we do ask that on that first day in particular that you are on time, just to make that kind of transition into FS1 as smooth as possible. So on that first day, we'll be welcoming all our new children who'll be starting with us at WEC, and obviously, as I know from our nursery, but you'll also be new to FS1 as well. So you will be joining those children. But if any nursery children that currently use the bus service, there will be no bus service on the first day. So you will not be able to, there will be no bus on that first day, but Samuel will share more information with you about buses and what that looks like. And obviously we ask you come back the next day smiling, because children will have such a great time, and we want to really promote that positive experience, talking about how their day went and having those lovely conversations about what they enjoyed. If you have any delayed starts to the year, please let us know. It's absolutely fine, but we just need to be aware, and so does the absence team. Otherwise, you'll receive lots of emails as well. Okay, so just give me.
Okay, perfect. Just to keep you informed in terms of extended care and what this will look like in FS1, the first 2 weeks, because they are staggered starts, we will not be offering the service. It will begin on the first full week at school. So that will be the 3rd week of your children attending school, should they start on the starting date on the 25th. We've got the end of school day finishing at 1:30 p.m. every day. You can collect your children between 1:30 and 1:40. Again, we encourage you to be on time for this, just to set that good expectation with punctuality throughout the school year. On Friday, all children, as Ms. Haran has already mentioned, will be collected by 12 p.m. latest. We will be opening doors, as mentioned earlier, from 11:30 a.m. to help you guys with that. You can sign up for extended care at the start of the school that academic year. So that first week, do communicate with your class teachers, Ms. Haran, Mrs. Howes, just inform us if you are interested in the service. Doors will not open for extended care until 2:30 p.m. Should you choose the service, and children must be collected by 3 p.m. the latest. Okay.
And with the extended care service, it is something that's really popular with our FS families, but it's not an ad hoc basis. So you cannot just send your child on selected days. If you're signing up, you'll be signing up for the 4 days, so Monday to Thursday. And then again, the doors will be open at 2:30. And again, the pickup times don't range either. You cannot come before to collect. Obviously, we do take into consideration that some parents may have appointments and things, but we do ask you to let us know 2 days in as much notice as you can to inform us of that early pickups.
And just an add-on that this is a paid service as well. Okay.
Okay, so we have offered for children in FS1 our ASAs, and these are paid activities, and we have specialist providers that come in and they lead these sessions. So often they are from 1:45 p.m. So children who, when we open the doors at 1:30, they'll be collected by their specialist, and then they'll be taken to the multipurpose hall for their session. We don't know what they'll look like yet, so you'll receive more information about that in the first couple of weeks of school. And they'll finish at 2:30 p.m., which is when we open the doors for pickup. We do have some later ASAs, but they are mixed with primary children as well. So the ones from 1:45 until 2:30 are FS only, and probably in the first couple of weeks for FS1 children still being so small, probably be the preferred one for them. But we do have some children that will also attend other sessions as well. But you will receive more information about those. Just with the later session, we do not have any bus service that will be run after that. So we do ask you to collect your child after those activities.
Okay, as a school, we do offer the STS bus service. Here's a little information regarding that. I know that it's their first time probably in school or using, public transport like this. So please do not worry. Encourage your children that, it's a safe space and they'll be well looked after, and just something to give you guys a peace of mind about is that it is adult to adult handover, and the children are monitored very well and handed to class teachers every single day. They leave the classroom with an adult and come to the classroom from the bus with an adult. If you are interested, do speak to STS to secure a seat for your child. And again, it's best if you do have a consistent approach with this, whether they just come to school in the mornings with the bus or they go home with the bus, or both ways, and not do, you know, 1 or 2 days bus and then pickups. It can get a little bit confusing for the child. So yeah, this is a great service for you to look at if you're interested. Please contact STS or reception if you are interested. If there are any changes, and like Ms. Haran said, something comes up, you have an appointment, do let the class teacher know. But we do have a 24-hour policy to respond or see emails and read them. So sometimes we're in the moment with the children, we're busy in the classroom, we may not see your emails. So please do contact reception as well, or STS directly should you have any changes regarding your child's pickup. Okay, and there's an email there for you, Samuel.
Yes. Just to add to that as well, if we do receive any requests for no bus or can my child go on the bus after that time, because it's such a busy time with buses and we obviously may not pick up that communication, then your child will, you know, either go on the bus or go home as kind of planned, because we need to make sure that we are receiving that communication, which is why we ask for it to be the class teacher, reception and STS, so we can really make sure that communication is shared as well. Just one other thing to add as well, if you do want to use the bus service and you would like a booster seat on the bus for your child, please contact Samuel and he will be able to arrange that for you. I think there's maybe a small charge around the bus seat, but he's the best person to ask about that. Okay, so just looking at attendance and punctuality. Obviously, I know it's very different for nursery, as some children do 3 days, might do 4 days, but obviously going into FS1, your child will be doing 5 days in the week, and our timings are slightly different to your initial drop-off, but we have a drop-off period between 7:15 and 7:45 a.m. Anything after 7:40 a.m. will be a late mark. Even if parents, you get to walk your child to the classroom, it will still be a late mark if it is after 7:45. So we give you that 30-minute window to ensure that they are here ready to start their day. If your child is absent, please report the absence by 7:30 a.m. to the absence email there, the absence team, and CC the class teacher in as well, just to avoid you then being contacted throughout the day, because I know parents do need to let us know and fill in the form about that. Early pickups, like we said, very similar to the bus. We do ask, ideally, for at least 2 days notice, but I know appointments may pop up, so as much notice as possible that you can give. If you send, an email within an hour before pickup time, that may not be picked up. So we do really, really emphasize on this, because there has been confusion around it at times, and we just need to make sure that we are keeping your children safe. And again, feel free to CC me into that email, as I'll probably more likely be able to pick up the emails throughout the day and ensure that early pickup is followed through. With extended care, I know I've already mentioned about the optional pickup time, so making sure that collection from 2:30 until 3 p.m. If your child is absent for more than 2 days, they will need a medical note that you will need to send to the teacher as well as our clinic. We do have parents that request absence leave, and that's absolutely fine throughout the year. I know things come up. We have family weddings, family events, celebrations. You can request that time and it may be approved, it may be unapproved, but either way, an absence is an absence. So even if it is approved, it will still count as an absence, and it will contribute to the overall attendance for the year, for the term, sorry. So we track attendance closely and punctuality across the term, and any attendance that falls below 85%, you will have that communicated with you. It may be from the class teacher, the head of year, or myself as head of phase. So we do track it, and we do have to send out letters. It is part of the KHDA guidance. So please do not be alarmed, but we do have to communicate that with you to show that we are doing our job as well at tracking and keep making sure that your child is in school.
Okay, moving on to uniform. As we know we are a premium school, so we like to follow our uniform policy very strictly in making sure that all the children come to school presenting WEC Academy very well. So we have a picture there just showing the expectation in terms of school bags. We are not accepting any wheelie bags in school. They're a health and safety concern. It's against our school policy, so we are recommending that all children come to school with a Wellington school bag. You can get this at Threads. You can buy different sizes. You can get a small one, you can get a large one, which can last them, you know, throughout the year in fitting in library folders and lunch boxes and all sorts. So that's a handy tip for you. All children will require spare clothes, as Ms. Haran has mentioned, to keep in cubbies, preferably the uniform. And if it's not, then we do ask that it's, you know, navy colors, things that are clothes that are comfortable and suitable for school. Okay.
Obviously, this will look quite different for you in nursery, because I know currently not all children that have their own bags and things. But we, as going into FS1 and joining our school, then we do require the Wellington bag. Yeah. Obviously, the lunch bag can be of their choice.
Water
and they can,
bottles, yeah,
bottles as well.
Exactly. Okay, and this is our PE kit. Again, you can, with the Wellington bag and PE kits, you might want to stick to the house colors that are suggested. If you have, you know, more than one child in our school and their siblings, you can stick to that house color. But, you know, we're not, as long as they're wearing a Wellington PE kit, that's absolutely fine. So we've got a no laces rule as well. Again, this is a health and safety concern. The children, are not able to do laces at this age on their own independently. And it's just a hazard. You know, we move around a lot throughout the school and playgrounds and all sorts. So please, a Velcro, or there's a suggestion laces there where you can buy these where they don't open. They just, you know, keep the shoes closed, especially for PE, so they are safe. And you can see the recommended shoes, socks, headbands, hair ties. Again, minimal, stick to the colors, the guidance that we are showing you on the screen at the moment, to stick to our uniform policy.
Yes, and we know that children love to have their colourful hairbands and clip-in clips and things like that, but we do very much encourage parents to keep that for at home and really stick to our school colours and the accessories shown there. Just one thing I know on the previous slide were the sun hats. So all children need to have a Wellington sun hat, and we do encourage parents to send that in with their name on it, and we will keep it in their cubbies so they can have it, because when the weather is cooler, they do go out every day. And yes, we have shaded areas, but just to ensure that they have got their sun hats at school as well.
Speaking of naming everything, Ms. Haran, thank you. Please do name everything, everything. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. Please, please, please name your child's belongings. They are, you know, starting their school journey. They're not self-aware of their belongings and taking care of everything, so that we can further support, you know, cardigans and hats and everything. Please, please, we encourage, you can stitch on it, you can label it very well and clearly. For us, it really helps us out. Okay.
And you won't believe, but there are things end up everywhere.
Exactly.
So it's always hard to find.
Thank you so much. Okay, and then in term 3, we do have our swimming sessions that take place, a block that ranges between 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the term. So here's a swimming checklist. Again, you don't need to worry about this until towards the end of the year, but the children will need a swimming costume or shorts, preferred Wellington, but this is not mandatory as of yet in FS1, but yes, that's just a recommendation. A swimming hat, that's really important. Goggles, a towel or robe. The overhead hoodies or ponchos are really helpful with this. A swimming bag that can fit everything in post-swimming, something that can sustain having wet clothing inside. And Crocs or flip-flops that have a backing that are safe for them to walk across, you know, to the swimming pool and manage taking off and putting on their own. Swimming is part of the curriculum. It's compulsory in our school. It will replace the PE sessions that we would normally have. Instead, in term 3, they will be having swimming. If your child will not be participating in any of the swimming lessons or a few of them, we will need a medical note, okay? not only to ourselves, but also the PE teachers. They will need to know the reason why your child is being exempted from these sessions. So yes, we'll communicate, I guess, the swimming lessons if the children are coming into school with the swimming kits on ready, or they will change later on in the day, depending on when the swimming time slot is. But most likely it will be that they come to school already wearing that with their PE kits on top, ready for their swimming session later on. Okay.
And just to add to that as well, when they do have their PE day, so before swimming starts, they will also come into school dressed in their PE kits. Okay, so they don't need to come in with their PE kits in their bags. They come in wearing their PE kit on their PE day, and then this in the swimming, when they move on to swimming, will be the same as for that day as well. Okay, so now just looking at snack and lunch. So I know I mentioned that in the first 2 weeks, they'll be there for in FS1 for a short session. So it will just be a small snack and a water bottle. But when the children do move on to their full hours, so until 1:30, we do need all children to have a snack and a lunch. So we very much encourage parents to have that really kind of clear in their bags. The children know which one is their snack box and which one is their lunch box, because for them, they'll just open it up and they'll want to have pasta at 9 a.m. So we try to really encourage parents to have that conversation with the children. This is what you're going to have first at snack time, and this is what you will have at lunchtime as well. So they will have that 20-minute break snack in the morning, and then followed that by an outdoor play session in the cooler months. And we very much encourage this to be healthy snacks, healthy foods. We are a healthy eating school, so that is something that we really do monitor. And we give out rewards and stickers for children that have got healthy lunch boxes, because we really want to discourage the beigey foods, chicken nuggets, pizzas, fries, cookies that we know they love, but it's not something we want to see them eating every day at school. We appreciate that they may have that at home, but we really want to promote the healthy, nutritious snack and lunch boxes when they're at school. We do follow a strict no nuts and no pork policy. We do have children with allergies, and we need to be really mindful of that as well. Again, very similar with seafood. Seafood is limited due to other allergies as well, but they can still have some if they have it in their lunch. Now, we do have Treat Tuesdays, so we do give them that opportunity to bring in something exciting that they might really enjoy. But again, we just want to steer away. It's not an opportunity to bring in sweets. We want it to still be something that is substantial and will fill them up in their snack as well. We do have a company called Slices that you are able to order your snacks or your lunches in preparation for that week. But we do ask that you, if you are using this service, that you order your meals for the whole week, because we know what it's like. We've all got busy schedules, and some days parents may forget. And we just need to make sure that the children have got their snack and their lunch. If there are days where it's maybe forgotten, we'll contact you, but we do monitor this as well. And we will always make sure that your child has something to eat, but we just want to make sure that you are really on top of arranging this as well. All cutlery should be provided as well in the children's lunch boxes. We do have some spares, but we really want children to have their own sets, just to really ensure that independence and they're able to access their own lunches as well. We do ask that you please cut fruits such as grapes, large blueberries, cherries, and cherry tomatoes. I'm sure you all do this currently in the nursery, but it's just to avoid any choking hazards. So we do ask that parents do please do that. Thank you.
Okay, speaking of lunches, these photos show lunch boxes that really help the children in terms of being independent, packing away after themselves, supporting what Ms. Haran said in terms of knowing snack goes here, lunch goes here, or two separate boxes, as you can see on the right-hand side. It just helps with that differentiating between the two. And like I said, we've got a class of let's say 22 children, and it just helps the ones who know, okay, my lunchbox is simple enough for me to just shut with one click, instead of having so many little pots and intricate bits into their lunchboxes.
Because they all end up on the floor.
Exactly, yeah, or water bottles that they can't open and close themselves. So all of these things really have such a huge impact in terms of what that snack or lunch looks like. we ask that, did I miss something there? Oh yes, I've covered that. Having the separate snack and lunch, as Ms. Haran has said, will be really, really useful. Please make it really clear if you do put it in the plastic bags, like on the right-hand side there, that one is snack and lunch. Thank you.
Just so that they are able to carry it by themselves, which I know currently nursery, they've got their little trays and they're very independent at taking those off the shelf as well. So it's just from there having that transition when they initially will have snack in their classroom at the beginning, but when they do transition into the dining area, that they're able to carry their own bits on that walk. Okay, so just birthday treats. Now, this is not an expectation, but we do have parents that often want to celebrate their child's birthday and send something in as a special treat. And where possible, we would ask that it could be a healthy option, such as a fruit cup, fruit pops, you get the fruity wine snacks. And of course, we know children would naturally want something like a donut or a cupcake, cookies, and it's more because sometimes we end up with 5 to 6 birthdays in a week, and that would be then 5 to 6 lots of very unhealthy treats. So of course we're not completely opposed, but just being mindful of that as well. So we will always send something home that parents have, it's up to their discretion to give it to the child, but we do ask just to be really mindful of kind of limiting that sugar intake as well.
Okay, I quickly mentioned water bottles. Here are some lovely examples of non-spillage water bottles that your children should have in school. Again, that easy access, independence of how they use it. They can go to their cubbies and drink water as and when they want. Having somewhere for them to hold, to carry, going to PE, going to swimming, going to the dining hall. We do move around, obviously, throughout the school, going to specialists with these water bottles. So the one on the right with the big X with the with the lid to open and close, you know, to screw on and off. One, they are very heavy when they're filled with water. Two, they can't open and close themselves to have that easy access. And 3, the carrying, you know, to be able to move around, like we said, to those areas and those sessions. It just makes it very difficult. I know it's difficult for the adults to use touch bottles. So please do buy your child, again, these can be any of, you know, their favorite or interests that they like, but just to have that sippy cup lid or top, should I say, just to have that easy access. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just looking at that parent and school partnership. So we have all teachers on our doors in the morning for that handover communication, and again, teachers on the doors at pickup time. So you'll always be able to have that daily dialogue if you are dropping off and collecting your child. This may look slightly different if your child is coming to school by bus. So we do, you know, if you were to request a phone call or you want to email the class teacher, we will always offer that communication, but we do just ask you to allow us 24 hours to reply, up to 24 hours to reply for the email and for the requested phone call, but we are always here to have that communication with you. We use Seesaw as our application to celebrate children's learning or their learning journey. So you'll be able to see lots of photos and videos of what they've been learning and getting up to in the classroom. We do ask that you download this each term, so you're able to make sure that you've got those memories to share with the children as well. Now, we do ask that you like and you engage with these posts, because obviously we are sharing that with you and we want that to be celebrated at home as well. On a Friday, we do send a parent newsletter and a learning summary, which you just see an example here on the screen, and that is to really explain to parents what we've been doing that week in the classroom, and then that way if there's any idea that you want to support with at home, you've known what the child's been getting up to that week as well. So we send reports home termly, so you'll be able to see how your child is getting on in those terms and what progress looks like for your child. We hold parent and teacher meetings throughout the year. The first one will be after their first 3 weeks and very much is around that transition and how they are settling into their new classroom. So we ask for the first 3 weeks of settling, and then we'll have that conversation with you in person. And then after that, they will be termly parent meetings. But again, if there's any time that you want to ask any questions you're unsure of, we do ask parents to communicate with teachers by email only. We do not use Seesaw, even though there is a message option, we do not communicate with parents through Seesaw. It will all be via email.
Okay, next we'll talk about social media. We do have an Instagram account. At the top there you can see, you can find us on gemswec.ey centre to follow the early years centre to see what we've been up to. We try to keep that as active as possible just to keep you guys in the loop. If you are happy for your child to be on social media and you give consent, you will receive a Google form on the first week of school for you to say yes or no if you're happy for them to be on there on the page. There's a tick box as well when you log into Gems Connect app for this. And if you are not happy and do not want your child to be on there, please do at any time, if you change your mind, do email your class teacher to inform them so that we can make those changes and make everyone aware that they are not to go on social media. Thank you.
But please do follow. You'll see all the lovely, wonderful things that we get up to in our day. Okay, so what next? So just making sure, you know, over the next few weeks leading up to the summer, when parents or families come back, the uniform shops get incredibly busy. So we do ask that, you know, if you can, do it as soon as possible, because quite often there are lots of things that will be out of stock. So just making sure that you've got your uniform ready to begin on that first day. You will receive your class allocation email today, which will give you a bit of information about what class your child will be going to, who their teacher will be, and who their teaching assistant will be. And it will also give you the staggered start time slot that they will be attending in those first 2 weeks. And then again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. And we're just going to share some emails that you might want to take a screenshot of, and then we can have a little question time at the end if you have any. So these are just some really important email addresses that you may want to have throughout the year, particularly the absence, STS. But again, if there's any questions you have, that these are the go-to people, and we often find sharing these that really helpful for parents. But if you are sending emails to any of these contacts, please CC the teacher, the class teacher, into everything, so we are all in the loop with that as well. Okay. Thank you very much for listening.